What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the tavern. I'm Spencer.
And I'm Eli. Oh, I just got really bad heartburn.
Nice. And this is Bardic Blunders. Uh, so today we had a state of play. And we got some interesting gaming news. Where is the article that I just read before stream about the state of play? Why has that ceased to exist? No, not how to watch. Gosh dang it, Google. I hate you. Immediately freaking selling me out like that. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna skip over one of them that is probably the most interesting. I'll save that for last. But we got Final Fantasy Tactics coming back. We got
That's
Capcom's
nice.
Pragmata, which was announced in 2020, uh, or revealed in 2020 with the PS5. It's finally going to be coming out next year. We got Neo 3, which anybody who doesn't know what Neo 1 and 2 are, they're a Souls like. Well, Neo was a Souls like. Neo 2 really developed it into its own style to the point where you're actually seeing Neo likes. So Neo 3 is a pretty cool addition. Glad to see that they're still continuing that series. I haven't gotten to play the games, but I'd be interested in it. We're getting a Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, which is most likely just going to be a collection of all the classic Mortal Kombat games, which at this point is like 2005 and older, which hurts me. Silent Hill F got a release date. What's up, group? We're not late. We're not late. Okay, we're like 30 minutes late because we normally do it at 7, but we're not late. I said we were going to do it at 7:30. Uh so yeah, September 25th for Silent Hill F. I have not seen anything on Silent Hill F. I'm not really a horror game player, so the Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which is the remastered of MGS3, got got more information. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is getting a prequel called Bloodstained the Scarlet Engagement. That's the Castlevania like game that I didn't personally like myself, but no hate towards them. A couple of games getting announced that I'm just not going to play the trailers of. If you want to look at the trailers, you can look it up. A game called Romeo is a Dead Man. Coming next year. We got a game called Sea of Remnants that is described as a pirate themed, free to play, voyage themed RPG. Tides of Tomorrow is a multiplayer story game set on Elend, an oceanic planet where life is facing extinction from a deadly disease, but all the players are the chosen ones to shape its destiny. Uh,
So it's kind of like Helldivers 2, but different.
I have no idea. Let's take a look at the trailer.
What was it called again?
Tides of Tomorrow.
I'm
Um,
scrolling down.
Clicking through it, I don't know. It looks more like action adventure kind of thing.
Hmm.
Oh wait, are you like playing in mirrored worlds? Oh, that's interesting. Wait, so it looks like it's saying that any news on Catley? I don't know. We could check that. That wasn't in this state of play, but we could check the Steam store. February 24th,
Right now.
2026. That's interesting. It looked like some of the things in the trailer was like one person doing something in the world, and the other person is like seeing their ghost doing it, and it affects what happens in that other player's world. So that's interesting. Digimon Storytime Stranger, Project Defiant, which is a fight stick. We're getting a new Thief VR game, but new Thief, so that's pretty cool. Sword of the Sea, Care, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which is a throwback Ninja Gaiden, like the 2D. Hiragami Baby Steps. Okay, that's all the less interesting ones. Now the one that I really want to talk about. We're getting a fighting game called Marvel Tokon. I don't know if that's how you actually say that, but Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. It looks like Street Fighter with Marvel characters.
Oh, that's dope.
4v4 Tag Fighter coming to PS5 and PC in 2026. That actually sounds incredible. I will pull up this trailer. So shut up. I don't want you to play audio. Play it really quietly. Just mute it. Just mute it. They should call it Marvel Rivals just for the troll. The art style for this looks very interesting though, and I do like the look of it. But yeah, it 100% it looks like Street Fighter, but with it being 4v4, it sounds like it's gonna be like Marvel versus Capcom style, where you pull in your allies and you can switch in and out with them. That being said,
and to update, Catley did get a trailer update.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That Star
you know
Wars
what?
outfit looks
It's
dope.
Yeah, it does. It's basically saying that it's going to be, like, what was that stupid game that took the world by storm? Street Crossing. No. The
Animal
farming
Crossing?
one. Yes, Animal Crossing. It
Did
looks
you
like it's
just
going to be
call
like
it
Animal.
Street Crossing? What was that game called with all the 2D animal characters? What was it, jaywalking? Street Crossing. I had a feeling I knew exactly what you said, what you meant when you said Street Crossing. I was like, there's no shot he means Animal Crossing, right? That is exactly what you meant. That's really funny. Okay, so it's supposed to be like
Mix between that and Connectimals, if you remember that.
oh gosh. Good grief. The game where you have all the cute animal characters getting mauled by trucks.
Raccoon.
Oh my gosh, Street Crossing is such a great. Oh. That's 2 weeks in a row, man, that just freaking gold nuggets have dropped out of your mouth on the podcast. Jeez Louise, Street Crossing. But yeah, anyways, the Marvel fighting game. I suck fat chunks at fighting games, but I mean, I'd still be interested in. Can we nickname Eli Golden Goose?
What did I say last week?
Last week was when you went. We were arguing. You were trying to make fun of me for
Oh.
knowing things about the Elden Ring lore, and I was like, yeah, I'm a Warhammer Lord. You're like, I've only read like 2 books. Wait, 3? No, 4. No, 6. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. But yes, the Marvel fighting game looks very interesting. Um, I don't mind Marvel versus Capcom, and I honestly don't mind fighting games all that much. The only problem is typically when I play a fighting game with somebody, they absolutely love fighting games and they crush at fighting games, and I suck at them. So it's just me getting dumpstered. And they're like, yeah, yeah, oh, I'm so good, oh, yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to play anymore. They're like, oh, come on, why don't you want to play anymore? Like, take a wild guess. Yes, I have. It didn't work. Fighting
Lethal
games,
Company got an update?
fighting games are just not my brand of autism. Did I just hear you say Lethal Company got an update
Yeah.
for the first time in a freaking year?
No, the one before this was in December.
Yeah, I mean, still half a year.
Yeah,
Uh,
he overhauled the radar system.
Added a face cam which allows you to see your fellow employees on the terminal. What? Like you can see their view?
I that was a mod that was put into so many games, so I would assume he probably just added that.
Okay. Reworked the radar's appearance, now using 2D sprites to display rooms. Added a compass to the HUD and to the terminal, pinging your scanner makes it more visible at the bottom of the screen. We got more Silk Song Steam page news. Oh, let's go check that out after. Added a line on the radar which shows the path from the currently viewed player to the exit. I feel like I get it, but at the same time, it was kind of interesting having to try and guide them through the facility not knowing where the exit was.
Hmm.
But all right. Added contour
You think
lines
that's
to
really
the
gonna
exit
stop us from getting lost?
Oh no, absolutely not. This should bring the radar up to the visual standard of the rest of the game and make it easier to make a difference as the computer guy. That's fair. New furniture: fridge, sofa chair, doghouse, microwave, and electric chair. Added a new outdoor daytime creature, the giant sapsucker. Reworked the mansion interior.
It's less vertical now.
8 new rooms slash hallways with lots of interactable objects for scrap to hide inside. Added cabinets which can spawn in the hallways. Shrunk the vertical size of many rooms and hallways in the mansion to a more accurate scale. Overhauled the logic used to generate the mansion layouts. Now the mansion should be more interesting to explore and has more opportunities to loop back on itself and create non-linear layouts. Added a new log from Sigurd. Okay. Uh, Updated the company cruiser, reinforced materials. It can now withstand knocking into many trees and
Forgot that
rocks.
once.
The company cruiser now passively tries to set itself upright. There's now a tiny boost when pressing down the pedal after changing gears. Minor bug fixes. First of a series of several updates which I'll be reworking or adding rooms to each interior, as well as adding new creatures leading up to the update that takes the game out of early access. I hope you enjoy the changes here. One more thing, my friend who made music for the disco ball and boombox has worked with makeshift, cooked up a plush of the one and only Zed Dog. As you may or may not know, it's the rarest scrap item in Lethal Company, but I increased its spawn chance just a little bit for the special occasion. I've never seen Zed Dog.
Neither have I. Also, I would like to point out how the repos guy uh, does his updates. He does them in video format, where he
Yes.
goes through and explains everything.
Repo isn't just the one guy, though, right? It's a full team. Well,
I
not a
believe
full
it's a
team.
full team.
It's three dudes, but still. I think they added
Yeah.
achievements and an age rating. Apparently, this is the reason the game has been uploaded, but no news from Team Cherry. Okay, let's see. No reviews. Planned release date.
Why are you playing a video?
I
It looks like they're adding in different ways to play as well.
What do you mean?
What was basically the hard mode in Hollow Knight?
Steel Soul?
Yeah, so it looks like they're doing they've added in Silk Soul challenge mode.
Are you seeing this on Steam?
Yeah. I just scrolled down on their fucking page.
Oh, okay, I see that now. I see what I don't. I'm not seeing the age rating. Anywhere, but then again, I also don't know where Steam posts the age rating on games. Huh.
Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, hey, I'd be down. Just going off the
I
video,
also
search song
spent
spans are insane. It might have cracked versions. Have the cracked version on speed dial or something.
I also spent probably about, this will segue us into the next topic, but I spent about 2.5 hours the other day trying to figure out how to get Skyrim together onto my PC
Yeah.
so you and me could play Skyrim together.
And what happened?
I'm dumb. What do you think
Well,
happened?
I knew that, but why wasn't Skyrim working?
Well, I couldn't find Skyrim together in the mods thing.
Hey, I found it.
What? What?
I literally just went to Google and looked up Skyrim Together mod, and it was the first option.
But is it in the thing that allows you to just auto install mods from the game?
No, that's the Creation Club, dude.
What's the difference? They're both mods for the game.
The Creation Club is like Bethesda curated mods.
Oh. Never mind then.
I was like, what are you talking about? You can't find it. I went to Google and looked it up, and it's right
I
there.
didn't go to Google because I've been.
Oh, boy. You You are a unique individual. That's funny. All right. Well, anyways, yes, that does segue us to speaking about the Elder Scrolls. You're the one that has the inside knowledge on this one. Uh, so go ahead and choke to death, apparently.
Ow.
Are you all right?
I don't know what just happened to me. Anyway, I was just cruising. Wow, is it really this fucking easy?
Can we get Eli to do an IQ test at some point?
And what happens if I have an IQ test that's ridiculously high? Are you guys just gonna make fun of me more?
See, the thing is, yes. The thing is, I think your IQ's fine. I think there's just something that's blocking the transmission of that IQ throughout the rest of the brain. You might
So you
have
mean
a
CTE?
slight case of severe brain damage.
Caused by none other than the many concussions I had growing up.
The alcohol and cigarettes probably didn't help either, but
The cigarettes kill the lungs, alcohol kills the liver. The cliver.
the
You know.
cliver, yeah, the cliver. I'm sure that's the only thing it kills. It don't kill brain cells unless you've been sniffing Sharpies.
No, that's huffing the glue, man.
Maybe that's
Anyway, I was just Eli, think. Organize your brains. So
I'm doing it.
I'm
thinking. Ow!
Every so often I'll go through like the newsreels that pop up on my phone, and something popped up. Hey, Elder Scrolls fans, tune in Sunday for the Microsoft showcase. Bethesda's leaked some stuff saying that people should tune in. So I went and did my research because I'm a good little boy.
Don't say it like that.
Dobby's a good boy. He went and did his research. Dobby needs sock now. But apparently a whole bunch of gaming journalist websites have brought it up, and I was like, I don't know if this is one person who caused the whole hubbubaloo, but they all came out, I think, yesterday, and that tends to lead me up the route that, oh, this might be a real thing. So, I'll probably be tuning in from work, depending on what time it is.
Cool. I'll probably watch it as well. They hold the internet screech on a button. Which one are you referring to? I'm not thinking of it.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Oh, you mean like the modem noise?
Oh God, no.
yeah, the modem screaming out. Okay, yeah, I got you. It took a second for it to click. I'm like the internet noise, what internet screeching, and then yeah, okay, yeah, that.
Actually, group, funny enough, nicotine helps your brain. That's why it's in so many nightshade vegetables. Nicotine itself is very helpful. It's a stimulant for your brain to keep you awake and moving. I learned that in culinary. because I'm smirked. But there's a lot of talk on where Elder Scrolls 6 is going to take place. Oh, I hit a button. There's a lot of talk of where it's going to be taking place. A lot of people are saying it's going to be in Hammerfell and High Rock. I personally don't really care that much. I kind of want a full open world where like their Elder Scrolls Online is, where you can go to all the regions. But as we were talking about earlier, that's a very large game.
Yeah, we were talking before the show a little bit. Like that would be a massive game, and with the Bethesda polish, quote unquote, that their RPGs tend to get with all the little minutia, there's no shot that game gets made with less than 4,000 people in less than a decade. Like that is probably pushing 10,000 locations for a game like that.
Yeah.
Like how many?
And that's why it's okay. How many locations are in Skyrim?
You do Skyrim, I'll do Oblivion.
Including all of the
Culinary lied to you. Nicotine in the teenage years can harm the parts of the brain that control learning and memory, impulse control and emotional regulation, attention and behavior, mood, executive function, things like organization and planning, working memory, and flexible thinking.
Okay, then why are we told to eat our vegetables? Why is cauliflower considered a superfood?
Probably because sucking on a cigarette has like 8,000 more percent more nicotine.
There's
than a
also
freaking
other
cauliflower.
chemicals in cigarettes. I have a feeling that's based on nicotine, as in the not good stuff. By the way, there are 670 unique locations inside of Skyrim.
367 in Oblivion.
Nicotine is most prominent in tobacco. However, it is in other vegetables as well, including the nightshade family, which it's a naturally produced alkaloid within.
Isn't nightshade deadly to eat raw?
Yes, which is why potatoes are deadly to eat raw. Nicotine is classified as a poison, much like alcohol is.
Answer the question, Eli. Did you smoke your vegetables?
Yes.
Okay. So, one cigarette averages 10 to 12 milligrams of nicotine, with 6 milligrams on the low end and 28 on the high end. That's milligrams. Cauliflower contains approximately 16.8 micrograms per gram. What's up, Razor? It's important to note that this amount is extremely small and unlikely to have any significant health effects. For comparison, a cigarette contains about 10 milligrams of nicotine. Yeah, okay.
I'm not. Have I defended smoking cigarettes? No. I just
But,
say
but,
that that is also in these vegetables. And it is not inherently bad for you because it is a stimulant. Oh, taking too much is bad for you, but taking too much of anything is also bad for you.
hey, you know what else is bad for you? Cyanide. I
Drinking too much water is bad for you.
Yes, I'm aware.
Breathing too much oxygen is bad for you.
Let's see. Impact on the body. Cardiovascular system. Nicotine increases heart rate and blood pressure, constricts blood vessels, and can lead to hardening of the arteries, increasing the risk of heart disease, heart attack, and stroke. Respiratory system. While less harmful than the tar and other toxins in tobacco smoke, nicotine still possesses risks to the lungs. For example, some flavorings used in e liquids containing nicotine have been linked to serious lung disease like popcorn lung. Brain development. Nicotine is especially harmful to developing brains, which continue to mature until around age 25. Use during adolescence can negatively affect
Fuck.
attention, learning, mood, and impulse control. Let's see. Yeah, you really picked an interesting spot, Razor. This is really funny. Let's see. This is from Echelon Health. Nicotine is a stimulant. When the body is exposed to nicotine, you will often experience a kick. This is partially caused by the nicotine stimulating the adrenal glands, resulting in a release of a hormone called adrenaline. This surge of adrenaline is what stimulates the body, causing an immediate release of glucose and increasing your heart rate, breathing activity, and blood pressure. Nicotine exposure also makes the pancreas gland produce less insulin, causing a slight increase in blood sugar or glucose. Nicotine also has an indirect impact on the brain. In a similar way to drugs like heroin or cocaine, nicotine causes dopamine, a brain chemical that affects emotions, to be released in certain regions of the brain. These increased dopamine levels then leave you feeling happier and more satisfied, adding to that kick experience. However, as you build up more of a tolerance to nicotine over time, you will often require a high dose to enjoy the same effects. Depending on the dose you're taking, nicotine can also act as a sedative. This is because once it reaches the brain, it can trigger the release of beta endorphins, a hormone known for its ability to reduce anxiety, ease emotional distress, and create a sense of well being that makes it easier to get to sleep. The benefits of nicotine. While nicotine is mainly associated with the harmful effects of smoking, it can offer certain benefits. These include increased levels of alertness, euphoria, and relaxation, improved concentration and memory due to increased activity of the. I'm gonna botch this, but acetylcholine and norepinephrine neurotransmitters, reduced anxiety due to increased levels of beta endorphin, which reduces anxiety. The side effects of nicotine. Side effects in the brain: dizziness and lightheadedness, irregular and disturbed sleep. That sounds familiar.
There's other reasons you could blame that. Let's be honest here.
Bad dreams
I
and
don't.
nightmares, possible blood restriction, side effects of the gastrointestinal system: nausea and vomiting, dry mouth, indigestion, peptic ulcers, diarrhea, heartburn. Side effects in the heart: altered heart rate and rhythm, increased risk of blood clots and atherosclerosis, uh, where fatty materials build up on your arteries, increased blood pressure, enlarged aorta, increased risk of coronary artery disease and stroke. All right, we don't have to go any further. Main point: nicotine bad. That one even highlighted the few good things about nicotine, but it's still bad. Anyways, back to nerd stuff. Gotta eat that cauliflower to get that nicotine. That you know what that okay, I don't want to keep dogpiling on you, but it sound though you being like, well, there's nicotine in cauliflower is the exact kind of thing that's like, if you ate 40,000 bananas in one sitting, you'd die of radiation poisoning. Like, yeah, the radiation would kill you. I'm pretty sure if I ate enough cauliflower to cause nicotine poisoning, I probably would have long died from cauliflower ingestion.
Actually, no. You can make cauliflower a lot of different ways, and it doesn't feel like you're eating that much.
I'm saying that before I would die from nicotine overdose, I would have to eat an innumerable amount of cauliflower.
Yeah, I 100% agree. But it also says that you're more alert.
Oh my gosh. Your bones may rot, your lungs may shrivel, and your brains may stop working, but I mean, I've got a real kick.
I'm aware for all of it.
That Marvel fight, yeah, we talked a little bit about that, Razor. That Marvel fighting game does look very good. I'm not exactly a fighting game enthusiast myself, but
Also, I would like to point out, I found out who made that giant tunnel in Minecraft.
yeah,
It was Group.
that's exactly what I said.
Oh.
I mean, I pretty well called that. I logged onto the server and saw it and went, I think Group did this. The mine shaft that's like webs out throughout the underground. The strip mine. Looking for copper. Yes, I maybe maybe phrase that better, Razor.
Wait, what did Razor
He
say?
said, "Did y'all see my big hole?"
Yes, Razor, I saw your big hole and I was rather impressed that it branched off in a weird direction like that. Flo is currently on.
He's 18 now.
Yeah.
We can make that joke. Oh boy. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was intentional or not. That was funny. You ended up just leveling a villager for a trial map and stripped it from there. Okay, fair enough. You were like 10 feet from a trial chamber, right? You got so close to that trial chamber with that strip mine. But jeez, oh my gosh. Um excuse me. That was a sushi burp. Um
You ate sushi?
yes. My sister took me out for a little bit of a late birthday dinner to an all-you-can-eat sushi place. I
Fish
freaking
muncher.
gorged myself on sushi. Yeah, at least I'm munching fish. What are you doing with your yes haircut? straight beneath the village that you spent 2 hours leveling the villager. There was 3 that were pretty close to spawn. Obviously, you can't see that because you don't have spectator, but we found 3 of them pretty near spawn. Anyways, though, yes, the Elder Scrolls 6, it would be very interesting if we got some news on that at the Xbox showcase. I'm not holding my breath because I mean, it's Bethesda.
Hey,
But it would be interesting. Either Xbox Showcase or Summer Games Fest. They should be releasing some sort of teaser right about now, but you can never tell. It's like sometimes I feel like game companies have gotten more lackadaisical with that sort of thing. I don't know if it's just because they've started to become like corporatized or something like that, but I don't. It seemed like back in the day you had all these developers just super eager to be like, "Hey, look at my game! Look at my game! Look at it! It's not done yet, but I want you to look at it. I'm making a game." Like
yeah.
they seem to be so excited about having a game to show off to people, and now it seems like they're like, "Oh yeah, we're making a game. You want to see it? Oh, it's like 7 years off." Oh,
Yeah.
you want updates? No.
We don't do that sort of thing here.
You strip the dark forest nearby practically every big mushroom. That's fine.
Oh no. I'm going to check right now. Oh no. He demushroomed our forest, Spencer. I have only found 2 mushrooms. 3.
Don't tell him. He thought he had them all. He's gonna be like, wait, there's more?
Hold on, I found another island. On my way.
No way.
Yeah, there seems to be a lack of mushrooms.
I mean, he did say he just did it. Um, but yeah, the
Why do you need mushrooms?
making a shroom cave. We're gonna go to review all these houses, and it's gonna be like, oh yeah, look at this, a nice wood house. They got a dock. Oh hey, this is a really nice cave house here. And then here's Group's drug lab.
Nah, it's just going to be a
7
giant
First
mushroom
Light looks
house.
good and is by the Hitman devs. Ooh.
Can I open chest? Group, what are you planning on building?
I can't wait to log on and see that. But as for the last thing, we're just gonna fill some time talking about D&D. And
Uh, New Unearthed Arcana's out.
yeah, we got a new Unearthed Arcana, which is the Scion.
Yes, it's Scion, and there's a few other class updates.
We got some new subclasses. The Scion is a new class that has psychic abilities. I gotta be honest, I did not really look into it all that much.
Here I go.
You're building a whole waterfront pier. I thought that's what you were doing. That's what it looked like. Very interesting. I'm excited to see the houses that are in the running. Um, but I had actually, whenever I was looking for things to keep to add to the topic board, um, I found a couple of posts on the D&D subreddit that I wanted to bring up and uh and talk about putting
Okay.
different game references in the shops. Ooh. Okay, so first, here's this question. Do people still know where you are if you are invisible? If an NPC or vice versa goes invisible, do the players still know where it is even if they can't see them? Does it need to take the hide action for them to not know where they are?
If you cast invisibility and don't move, they have a general idea where they turned invisible. That's it. I've used this in before, so
Right. Well, and yeah, so okay, I don't like a lot of the answers that people are saying. Invisible is distinct from being hidden. If invisible is distinct from being hidden, then there's no point in invisibility. Because
yeah.
if you go invisible and you move, they have no reason to know where you are. Oh, but they're making sound. Yeah, you know how many other things are making sound?
Yeah, it's also like you can ever tried to follow somebody in a crowd? It is ridiculously hard.
Yeah. Um, let's see. You can still hear an invisible creature's general area just fine. No, I don't like those answers. Just go on Baldur's Gate and say that I have no clue where they went when invisible. Yeah, exactly. If somebody turns invisible, yes, they can still make noise, but when you're in the heat of combat, you're not going to see when that person's
Also, you have to
invisible.
think other people are going to be making noise around you. You can't just all stop, hold your breath,
Well,
and listen really hard.
and the environment's going to be making noise around you that's not just the person who went invisible.
Yeah.
Are there certain situations like, yes, if one player was in a bar and they were uh, surrounded by pirates in the bar and they went invisible and tried to creep away, yeah, I'd probably have them do a stealth check because if they roll poorly, oh, you step on a creaky board and they know exactly where you are. But in the heat of
You'd have
combat,
advantage on the stealth
yeah,
check,
you'll have
for sure.
advantage. Absolutely. And they if as long as you're moving silently, they'll have no idea where you are. But yeah, I don't like a lot of the answers like, "Oh, well, you're only concealed if you hide." It's like, "Yeah, uh I'm sorry. That's freaking stupid."
Yeah.
Now, yeah, you can't go invisible and then start firing off spells or shooting arrows or,
Greater invisibility.
well, no, I mean, if you're doing things that would make a bunch of noise like that, then yes. Their version of
I've
invisibility is
used
just
it.
hiding in a box a la Snake style. Yeah, that's right.
I have used things like that where I cast greater invisibility on a boss, and then they move around the battlefield and hit you where you can't see them, and then they move afterwards.
See,
It's hysterical.
there's a certain level of, yeah, like it wouldn't make sense if you had somebody who was like heavily armored casting invisibility on
Yeah.
themselves and then running around like clank 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 clank. Yeah, like yes, that would make a difference, but most of the time the people who are casting that are wearing robes or other very quiet clothing. They're uh
Watch your wizard still roll 2 nat 1s, drops his staff, it becomes uninvisible. Oops.
yeah, invisibility should be different from hidden. I can see, like, you know what, if a player has a race that has a bonus to perception checks based on hearing, then or
Yeah.
smell, like I can see being like,
What
oh,
about
okay,
taste?
yeah, well, you can't taste somebody who's far away from you.
I'd like to lick the invisible person.
Yeah, if you can't lick them if you don't know where they are.
Fair enough.
Like you get advantage on hits, but unlike when hidden, it doesn't go away because they still can't see where you're swinging. Yeah, and the same thing, you'd get disadvantage to hit them because you're swinging at somebody you can't see, so they can easily duck down, and you have no idea that they're down low to the ground. So yeah, that one, I realistically, let's be honest, it's what makes the encounter interesting. Because if you're like, yeah, I
Yeah.
developed this boss to be invisible, and they're like, well, actually, I can hear the boss because they move around and, like, yeah, all right, cool. So you find the boss and kill him in one turn. Are you happy? Are you proud of yourself? You ruined not only my fun, but everybody else's. I lick the air in front of me. Nothing. I move up one square. I lick the air in front of me. Nothing. I move up one square. That's funny. Um, but this is another one. Uh, I'm not going to read the guy's whole rant, but it's about fudging rolls as a DM. Let's see. Uh, questions. Generally, do you fudge rolls as the DM and why? And two, how would you handle this kind of player energy at the table under normal circumstances? I'd probably just be like, dude, you need to chill and engage. You're bringing the vibe down, or just kick him. But him being my friend's husband wildly complicates the issue. He gets competitive, rarely engages with the story side of things, and when combat comes around, he only cares about his turn. And if his turn goes poorly, say he misses his attack or fails a check, he gets surly. And the more it happens, the worse he gets. It kills the vibe of the table because he's got that energy that if he's not having fun, then nobody can.
That's just dumb.
Yeah, no, he's just an asshole. So, answer to the first one, yes, I do fudge rolls. Um, and another thing that I will fudge is health or AC, or damage for attacks for creatures that I have made. Um, if the fight indicates that I either went too light on it or went too heavy on it. So like if I whip out an attack and I hit somebody and they're like, "Oh, that was half of my health in one hit." And I'm like, "Oh, that was supposed to be his every turn attack." All right, well, we're going to give him another attack that's weaker and make that attack like a charge one or something like that in the middle of middle of combat. Or if I'm like, "Oh yeah, 150 hit points should be good," and somebody turn one is like 80 damage, like 350 hit points should be good. That's the kind of fudge I typically do. I don't necessarily fudge rolls that often, unless it's like I will admit there's been a couple of times where I've rolled a crit and somebody that's already almost dead, and I'm just like, I'm gonna not do that. I'm gonna not do that. I gotta let him roll occasionally because I'm like, if I just never crit as a DM, then it's gonna be bad. But if it's a really bad situation and I'm like, I don't feel like this is would be a fun moment to die for the player. Like, this is supposed to be a random encounter. This wasn't even an important story encounter. Then there's sometimes when it gets taken out of your hands, like Ronan's death. Fudging rolls is also dependent on if you want a smooth game or a brutally honest one. Yeah, and that's true. And
I am going to be honest with you. I very rarely fudge my rolls as a DM.
I mean, I same thing. I don't fudge rolls that often. More often what I fudge is the stat sheet. Cuz I'm like, "Oh, I
I
don't
honestly don't even do that too much.
I do that because I mean, I'm also less experienced, so I haven't quite got down designing encounters 100%.
That's normal.
So that I kind of use that as a bit of a crutch to be like, "Oh, okay, well, I thought 18 AC and 200 hit points would be good, but the first round of combat, every single person hit, and they almost killed it in round one, and this is supposed to be a decent boss fight. Let's go ahead and give it like 200 more HP, and I need to figure out a way to help it avoid damage." Even then,
I,
usually I have some kind of mechanic built in like that. The only thing I change is AC. Like, there was a fight relatively recently where uh after every member of the party rolling above a 20 on the first round of combat, I was like, "All right, we're going to move their AC up from 18 to 20." Just
I will explain the reason why I don't do it, mainly because mine has more to do with I'm just lazy, and
chaos.
a lot of my stuff has to do with the idea of I just have the bonuses and like the dice they roll written down. So I just kind of go quick glance. I'm like, it's a +7. Okay, I rolled a 16. That's whatever. I just continuously. I'm never really actually like. I'm rolling the dice. I roll a lot, but very rarely do I roll well, so it doesn't bother me that much.
That's true.
I have a bad habit of rolling poorly when it comes to being the DM. And
I
even when I roll good, everybody else rolls well.
I had a moment relatively recently. I don't remember what session it was, but I I was attacking one person and I crit on them and then I crit on them again and they're like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And then the next turn around I was like, "Well, they're going to attack you again," and I rolled and it was another crit and I was just like, I mean, I'll hit. And I was like, I can't crit this person 3 times in a row. I would feel bad. I was
Even
like,
if it was me.
yes, even if it was you. Because at that point, I was like, this might not even feel like, wow, I'm getting unlucky. And it might just be like, man, this is BS. At that point, just give them an empty character sheet. Yeah, apparently God wanted me to kill them because. The
Um, my the funniest moment I ever had with that, the biggest fudge yet was we were playing D&D and I had a boss. The whole point of the boss was he was slow. He didn't hit that hard. He had a ton of hit points, but every time you hit him, it reflected some of the damage back based on how far away you were from him.
mm-hmm.
And I just wrote down 800 hit points. Or no, it was like 400 hit points. I have it written somewhere. Give me a second. It's in one of my. It should. Oh no, I might have deleted it. But I basically just wrote it down and I showed one of the players, and the player goes, looks at it and goes, "You're joking, right?" I was like, "No," and he just looked at me and goes, "Oh, you're joking, right?" And then I just sat there. It's like everybody kept hitting go, but they're like, "Is he bloodied yet?" No, nowhere's close. Actually, I think it was 800 because it was just such a ridiculous number to get to.
I think it was 400, but he was taking half damage.
Oh yeah,
I think that's because I know exactly who looked at it, and they looked at it. They're like, "Oh, you're joking, right?" You're like, "Mm." They're like, "Oh, you're joking."
yeah.
After you stared at them for a moment, they turned to the rest of us and went, "Guys, we're screwed."
And that was just on the fly. I was like, I haven't written this guy's hit points down, so here it is. And funny enough, that wasn't even the hardest part of the fight.
No. No, it was not. Yeah, I don't know. That third nat 20, I don't know if that's my worst fudge. No. No, my worst fudge is probably in the first campaign when our boy who was playing the Gloomstalker.
Oh, when
it
you just were
it
like, oh, you dealt that much damage, huh?
it was the first time I really saw how freaking insane the Gloomstalker could be. Because I think he just he dropped a crit on one of his multi-attack, and then he just dropped a lot of damage on the second one. You guys were like level 5, and turn 1, he was like, yeah, I deal 80 damage. I'm like, oh my gosh! I had 120 hit points pinned in. You almost killed him. Remember seeing a game where the party had an insane first round and managed to beat a boss that was designed to get them running. The DM later admitted to having to expand the world massively afterwards because they should have been on their ship to the next destination. That's funny. The Shatter Bow? Oh,
Was the bow that our
Star Shatter?
Gloomstalker friend used.
Was it Star Shatter? Yeah, gosh.
Still, I don't think he had the most damaged turn. I don't think he held the record for the most damage in one turn.
On an individual, yes. I think in an individual character, because he dealt what, like 140 on someone?
No, no, the one who had the most was our fighter. No, barbarian? I don't remember what he was. He was the rune I think he might have been a barb.
Oh, yeah. No, it was Rune Fighter.
Rune Fighter. He asked. So this was the difference. This guy
That's yeah. He got
dealt
the axe of
200
the
points
War
of
God.
damage. He dealt 200 points of damage in one turn. Because he asked the right questions and was like, well, how does this work in conjunction with this? But he didn't
So
ask it like that, but he was like,
what
does
he
this work with this? And we
what
were like, yeah, yeah.
what he did was he, as a rune fighter, you get the ability to increase your size to large once a day for however long, I don't remember. So what they ended up doing is, if I remember correctly, he did his thing, went up to size large. The artificer cast enlarge reduce on him to bring him up to huge, and the sorcerer, which was you, cast enlarge on him to bring him up to
No, I
uh
think I cast haste on him to give him more
oh,
attacks.
you might have cast haste on him. Whatever it was, yeah. So he's already got the damage bonus from being huge, stacked on top of the fact that he is a legendary artifact that just dealt a piss load of damage.
Yeah.
Um, and then you hasted him. Yeah, I remember that now. The ranger had the most consistent damage per turn though,
Correct.
because he didn't require
Correct.
any setup. He was just like, start of the fight, I'm gonna chunk whoever I feel like.
He dealt the most damage at the first round of the fight. However, they just eat. They honestly, that entire party was just like, we're just going to chunk you down as fast as possible. We don't care what happens.
Yeah, that was
We
definitely
were
the freaking put the train on the tracks and drive it into infinity.
we're going one speed, and if the bosses aren't keeping up with us, then the boss is the problem and not us.
You're gonna turn whatever I put in front of you into meat on the tracks of your death train.
And like, I dealt a lot of damage, but I just, even as a sorcerer, I just couldn't keep up.
Right. You had the most one turn, quote unquote, even though you weren't in combat, one turn damage across multiple creatures.
Yeah, with a 9th level spell, of course I'm gonna have that.
With a 9th level spell where you took out an entire army with Meteor Swarm.
Yeah.
Where you dealt like 150 points of damage. Well, no, it was like 125 points of damage average
Yeah.
per person, which means you ended
Yeah.
up dealing probably over 3,000 damage across every soldier.
In a mile radius, so yeah.
Yeah.
Plus all the woodland creatures I probably destroyed. And to make it funnier than that, I changed the damage type, so it was not a normal damage type that just any old person could be immune to.
Oh boy. What a party. What a
And
party
now our
that
current
was.
party, our current group in your campaign,
Is the exact opposite.
yeah, we want to go slow. Well, not anymore because we've picked up so many people.
True.
Now we kind of want to go faster.
Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Scrolling through this D&D subreddit, there's some just trash posts. Any third-party books that respectfully implemented disabilities and or stuff adjacent to it, like prosthetics, wheelchairs, magic glasses, and such. You have magic that can bring back ancient people from the dead. They're not going to have any issues with disabilities in these kind of things. Like, if
The only people who would have problems with disabilities are the extremely poor.
the poor, right? So if you're playing that card, you have to understand, one, if there's a cleric in your party, that disability's gone. And two, once you start making money, you can make that disability go away. Exactly the way it should be. Oh boy. Oh goodness. But yeah, I've got I really want to use the other idea for a campaign that I had, which it makes me want to run a secondary campaign elsewhere. That would probably be a good YouTube campaign, honestly. The Dawn of the Adventuring Age one.
Yeah.
Um, but have to get enough people who are willing to play D&D on YouTube
Consistently.
consistently. But anyway, I don't got anything else to you. Double
No.
920 won't save your Scooby-Doo butts anymore. That's what you think. You got your quote?
Yeah. Give me a second.
I'll go ahead and read mine. I may think of you softly from time to time, but I'll cut my hand before I ever reach for you again. I'll cut off my hand before I ever reach for you again. Arthur Miller, The Crucible. And Razors, life is pain, your highness. Anybody that tells you differently is selling something. Wesley, The Princess Bride.
My stuff's loading.
His stuff is loading.
I read that one last week. Spencer, no joke. The quote below the one I had pulled up last week was the same exact one that you just read.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. The stuff is loading. A gamer doing dirty talk?
All I am is literature, and I am not able or willing to be anything else. Franz Kafka.
Nice.
I use him a lot for my quotes.
Right. Yeah. You do. It's
funny.
funny.
I believe
You normally do the, like, real life quotes, and I typically pull from a lot of media.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you everybody.
I just looked up Franz Kafka and I was like, and one of the first things was, why does Gen Z love Kafka? And the response is, the kids nowadays resonate with questioning traditional norms.
Oh boy.
So
that's funny. All right. But anyways, yes, thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll be back tomorrow with Pokemon Moon. And Eli
My
will be sleeping until 5 o'clock in the afternoon because that's what he does.
I I'm gonna be honest with you. I have not slept in recently. And I've been going to bed at a more reasonable time.
Wow, look at you. A
I've been
decent
going to
sleep
bed at
schedule?
I've been going to bed at 2
At
a.m.
2
and
a.m.
waking
Yep.
up at 7
I
7
okay.
a.m.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's about the best I can expect from you. All right. tally
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 ho,
ho.
baby girl.
You.
That's right, Daddy.